30 shot busting medulla.
I didn't know what medulla meant
until
we took psych. Yeah.
I
think I might know every word of the song. Yeah, because I played it so much.
I threw my best friend Paulo. Gotta get the work through the front door. You run up on me, be a bozo. The beam when you know it's gonna bozo. Hey, oh no. Touchdown on Tony Romo. Put the 40 on his head like Debo. You lost in the sauce like Nemo. And like how you got the sauce in the
Oh, dude, you know Kai Cenat and Aiden Ross are beefing?
Oh no! Who am I gonna vote for in the Streamer Awards now?
Who mixed and mastered this shit, bro? Fucking, you had one job, bro.
What were they thinking in the studio? Like, oh, this is cool, no one's done this. Yeah, for a fucking reason. There's a mono version of this, like, on stereo on YouTube. And I played it a few times and I was like, you know what, I like this version better. I'd rather just my left ear enjoy it.
Half a pint and I'ma do that, that's a dirty soda. And I sell so many chickens, think I work for Kroger. I'm flexing, counting ballers, Parkers, Lexus, I don't ride them. Bad yellow bitch passes a lot of she's a robber. She was down the ride with me and she go, oh my God, yeah. If she see her up, I tell her Papa, she gon' pop me. I'm too notorious, bitch, I'm Big Papa. If I see her up, spot him, shot him, bitch, I got him drive through. In and out, I throw him up, been in hollers, ride, hit me, send me on me, catch his ass, send me on him.
It said EBE Bandz, but this is where it all started right here. It's his biggest song, 4.3 million views. At the time, it was at about 1 million views. It felt like it was stuck at 1.2 for like a really long time. For like these kinds of guys, 1 million views is viral. And I think he was like maybe 19, 20 at the time, something like that. The thumbnail is what blew up this video. It's of Bandz holding a gun with the physiognomy of like a real hood. Is that a JP Armani? But yeah, looking totally odd. It was a Slim Jesus type of effect that also helped this video blow up. 9 years ago, only 1.2 million views. They had a video with Lyrical Lemonade, Cole Bennett. Dude, it's actually crazy to see where Cole Bennett came from, bro. He was also not afraid. He was also one of these white boys who was not afraid in Chicago to like get his hands dirty with this stuff and like let real killers point guns at his camera while he's filming. It's a trash music video, and honestly, I'm not a big fan of the song either. This song was cool, but this song is like very clearly the amateur quote unquote Chicago style. That one I used to play on repeat, but this one, bro, we were blasting this at like out the windows at Cafe and Octane. And you really look at like, dude, this is better than the original. I'm convinced these rappers gay. Do the dash in the straight, I might crash in the straight. I'm from Chiraq, we don't do milli rock, we like the glizzy pop. Let that 40 make you diddy pop. This is the issue with white rappers. They spot rhymes that nobody else notices. Like, that's such an obvious in New York we milli rock. Like, it's so popular. It was so lined up for everybody to pay homage to it and also twist it into something. But no one did it. County eating noodles with the fork on that over east shit. I'm a beast, bitch. You might. Nah, dude, his flows, he was actually so clean and so talented with this shit. And this whole album right here, Bandz and awax, this thing is like, this was a special album. It was actually like really soulful. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I might be racist. Out of all of GMEBE, he was the only one I liked, and he was the only white one. But he was everyone's favorite. To be fair, he was one of the only ones who wasn't in jail. Dinero was in jail. He was actually like the second best. Allo was trash. Pistol was trash. Murda didn't make music. I mean, at least not that, like, he wouldn't put it out there. Dude, this music video sucks. This is Murda. He's actually not terrible. You know what? It's not even, I'm commenting on this now saying it's bad, but this was part of the appeal. This is that early Chicago shit, like when Chief Keef was popping off. Like, what is this channel? 300 subscribers? Some dude who went off to do something else? It's some random guy they knew. It wasn't easy to find this, by the way. Again, I know the song, so I know Trap Godz, so you spell it like this, and then you have to put GMEBE Bandz or also put GMEBE Murda, and only then it will show up. You have to put like 80% of the keywords. That's another hallmark of these old Chicago songs. It's actually really hard to find them. Random channels, random SoundCloud accounts. There's Bandz songs on SoundCloud that have 100,000 views that aren't even on YouTube. No one's posted them. Bad mixing, really cramped album covers, producer tags that aren't like in the song, in the beginning of the song, but before the song, really choppy like music videos where everyone looks paranoid all the time, and like random YouTube channels that don't even have a profile picture. These are the hallmarks of old, golden era. There's no rules, no boundaries, just make whatever your heart desires type thing. Stuff in the early days when sosa was popping off. There's so much charm to it. I feel like you can look at these things, you can study these things and manufacture an artist. You can manufacture an industry plant like this. Like all the things that make an artist like this so endearing, you like search up the name wrong accidentally, but then the more videos show up because like some people spell the name wrong. They like, what is it? GMEBE, GBE Bandz, Billy the Kid, who even is he? When you have things like that, and especially when it spreads through word of mouth, I feel like these record labels could so easily make so many great artists, but they genuinely just have nobody in their company who actually has any interest in artists or like music or diving in. They can't make it fun for themselves to dive in and analyze the way I'm doing it right now. So they just have to like throw money at it, pour money into the problem and see if that fixes everything. But like there's real critical shit that you can only learn if you can immerse yourself enough to the point where you're able to have fun doing it. This is where record labels fail. They can't recreate shit like this, and you can recreate stuff like this. You can capture this magic again. There's zero white people doing it the way Bandz was doing it. There's a market for this. You can do it again. In fact, there's probably a bigger market right now than ever. You can engineer the songs in the car in like a really shitty like Honda sound system. That's where you mix the song. You don't want people to spread it through like, oh, I'm on Discord with you, let me say it. No, you want people to spread it by putting them on word of mouth in the car when they're like geeked and they have like the most dopamine and the windows down and they're like in some place they shouldn't be. So like their sense of awareness is heightened, so they're excited. That's when you want them to be listening to it. So that's when you make it its best. The unprofessionalism, for lack of a better word, that was there when Chief Keef was first coming up, and the rest of the guys who Chief Keef put on the map, the style that they had went mainstream. It became refined. It became polished. The diamond in the rough was no longer a diamond in the rough. It was just a diamond, and everyone was clawing at it. And now it's a whole industry, and now there are industry plants, and now you can get 100 million views doing that stuff. But that charm, not in the same style, but in people trying to pave their own way, doing the best they can with what they have. They live in like the Dunning-Kruger effect where they're at the peak. They think they're like really, really, really good because all of their attention is focused on like, oh shit, is the cops coming? I'm paranoid. What are they gonna catch me for the last crime I committed, the last home invasion I did? Like that's what's on their minds. You could see it in their faces. Bro, look at this playlist. GMEBE Bandz. They say that as a white boy, you have to go extra hard. If you're gonna make it in a place like that, you have to go extra hard. And that's what he did. Bro, if a black guy pulled out a gun like that on DJ Vlad's interview, the way that he did, that would have gone stupid viral. But since he did it, and because people change how they act in front of people based on their skin color, because they're retarded, honestly. The mainstream didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to think of it. Oh, should I be shocked? Should I be like surprised? Should I be like, oh yeah, typical? Should I be, worried? Should I be empathetic? Like they didn't know how to respond to that because they weren't given a script, because that's what normies need. They need a script. But let's all like not be NPCs for a second and actually use our brains to think about it. That shit was crazy. He was not low IQ. I mean, he was low IQ, but he wasn't super low IQ. He was pretty articulate and pretty creative, and he was able to get shit done. He was just a complete psychopath, like completely fearless, did not get intimidated by anyone. I feel bad for his mom though, bro. I hope she's doing good. She's suffered enough already. These games, they can go too far sometimes. I know, oh, these are games. These are games. You might be convinced that it's real even if you're playing it, but they're games. Bro, if you hear Bandz' mom, like, she made a speech at his funeral, play back that voice memo. It's gotta be on YouTube somewhere. Dude, it will bring you to tears. Or, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it will. It almost, I don't remember exactly, but it was like, I was right on the edge right there. I'm like, damn, dude, the shit that we do to our moms, like, maybe we're the problem. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Bandz was dangerous. I don't think he killed anyone, but I think he was seen as like an anchor for people to dive more into the gang shit. I think he was probably one of the bigger enablers of the group. Because if this white boy is down to do a hit. Like, if he's down to do this shit, then what the fuck am I, you know? Being black does not make you a registered nurse. I mean, real nigga. Sorry, autocorrect, my bad. There's a lot of NPCs out there, white and black, who don't have any identity on the inside. They just conform to whatever they're told to be, you know? Bandz was a real nigga. But if you look at the physiognomy difference between Slim Jesus and Bandz, you don't need an interview to tell you who's telling the truth. He wasn't ordinary out of any of them. He was probably one of the most violent, one of the more violent and scary out of all those guys. But even still, the way that he died was like a little excessive. Like, I was 19 when he died, so I was like, you know, enamored a little bit with like gang culture, but I still didn't know much about it. But looking back, that was so weird. Beaten with blunt objects, scorched, like burned. They burned the body, and then they dumped it in like in a lake or like in a forest or something like that, like 60 miles away. Why? Who does that? Why not just shoot him like everybody else in Chicago? They tortured him for what? Was it were they making a statement? To who? There was no intention, but there was never a motive that came out. Hey, don't mess with us, because this is what we'll do. We play like this. Always had people around him because he was already like a star of that area and a growing star. And like labels were looking at him and things like that. And he was hyper paranoid, and he kept a strap on him, yet he still managed to get jumped by like 3 guys at the same time. In fact, one of the guys, the main guy, is still on the run. He still has not been found. There's a warrant out for his arrest 6 years later. I get that it could just be some like insane psychopaths who he got in the, you know, bad books of, but that's not a normal Chicago death. That's the most insane Chicago death murder I've ever heard of in my entire life. Some of the more hardcore guys who are like really, really hated and people they seek vengeance on them, like King Von and them, when they died, in the beginning at least, it seemed like, oh, this is just more senseless violence, senseless killings in all this like gang culture, street culture. This whole story of like he sold half a pound of heroin that wasn't his to sell. Dude, that was like a cartel style kill. If that's what it was, why do all this extra? Why torture him over it? Now, could it be the case that whoever he stiffed in some transaction or whatever happened to know 3 complete brain dead animal psychopaths? They were ordered to just kill him, but instead they decided to like hear him like scream and like beg for his life and stuff like that. Like beg for them to... Maybe they were sadistic enough and that's just what they were like, because they did not look like your traditional ordinary gang shooters. Like, I'm not gonna act like I completely understand the situation. It could be anything. I'm just saying it's weird. GMEBE Bandz, best white... This guy named the playlist best white rapper or whatever. This is one of the best like just songs ever. This is a masterpiece.
Me and Bandz gripping 230s, that's sauce inside.
Bro, he looks like someone, some athlete or something. Yeah, I swear to God, he looks like someone I know. Look, I should mention that actually, no, I'm not even gonna, whatever, I'll explain the joke. The joke is freedinero, because he was in prison for a while. So, and he got locked up for this home invasion that they actually all did together, but they didn't snitch on, but he was there, Bandz was there. He was a part of the home invasion, but they didn't snitch on him. So Bandz was out making music while he was in jail. And we'd go around, I literally like make printed hashtag freedinero shirts and like go around school wearing it, give it to other people for free. This is what I was spending my YouTube money on back then. I had a bunch of senior pranks planned out. One of them was to do a walkout, like a free Little Chief Dinero walkout, like at my school, and like plan it out like that. I don't know if I would have been able to do it even if I didn't get kicked out before, but I got kicked out before I could even make that attempt. But that would have been hilarious. He's out of jail now, but it was such a funny meme back then that we still occasionally just act like he still is in jail. So, free dinero and rest in peace, Billy the Kid.
I move around with the rosters. My father, he really got locked up. Right after my mama got knocked up. I really came up on the bottom. I really woke